plane with the administration on it, the AD. The player plane will be landing here in about 10 minutes. So the Sugar Bowl welcoming party is going to go out there for these guys here in a minute. And then the player plane's going to arrive. So this has got Greg McGarity and the Georgia administration on this plane. Player plane is supposed to be landing here in a minute. Coaches, families, administrators, players coming next. Stay here, taking them. That's right. I'm going. We're going to stay live. Chip and I are going to do a stand-up Facebook Live here for you in a minute. The player plane is going to touch down here in about another 10 or 15 minutes. know where we can do it from. Want to do it from right here?
Right here. Right now.
Yeah. Turn this thing around.
Staying on the other side of it.
I don't know.
Whatever.
I can make that wider. Oops.
Story singing. Just some dogs.
You ready?
Look around.
Yeah, ready? All right. All right, Mike Griffith here along with Chip Towers. Obviously, we're live at the Louis Armstrong International Airport. You saw where the players and the families, administration ship, they all arrived just now on that first flight. The players' flight will be here in about another 10 or 15 minutes. I guess we're all going to be waiting to see who gets off that plane. Word is DeAndre Baker's on that plane, but we'll wait and see. Obviously, Kirby Smart and the staff will be on that, and there will be a press conference as well. 5-minute press conference from inside that building that y'all saw a minute ago. A lot of media press assembled over there. Chip, what are some of your thoughts? Chip got here this morning, I got here last night. Just some early thoughts here from New Orleans.
Well, the weather is obviously a big part of this. I mean, you know, starting here with the planes, going to talk to a couple of the UGA support personnel, people that I know, and they said, yeah, it was pretty rough coming in. There's some bad weather around. There's a tornado warning or watch not far from here, and there is they're telling us we need to move.
Okay,
and
we'll do this live. It's live television.
Yeah,
live video. Go ahead, Chip.
Yeah, and so you know, some bad weather, and it's going to be here through the weekend. It looks like. Now you never know. That's what the prediction is now. But there's that, and then who's here? And I think everybody's going to show up, including a guy named Justin Fields. What that means is will be a whole nother question. Hopefully,
I'm looking at the comments, Chip. They're giving you a hard time here.
Oh yeah, man. Don't want to. Yeah, man.
All right, we're back behind the barricade now. Yeah, I guess Justin Fields will be here. We're still waiting to find out exactly which Georgia players are going to be healthy enough to play in the game. To me, one of the key players, and we saw this in the fourth quarter of the Alabama game, Chip, was DeAndre Walker. You know, when he went out, I know that the script is written about Jalen Hurts coming off the bench, and hey, give the Alabama credit a lot for coming off the bench and leading that comeback. But that coincided with DeAndre Walker being off the field, and I thought he was very important. He did not practice in Athens. Kirby said he thought he would practice here, but I'll be interested to see what Walker's condition once he gets here.
Yeah, you know, you pointed that out. I guess it was late third quarter, early fourth quarter.
Right.
DeAndre Walker went out, and you think about the third downs that Jalen Hurts converted, third and long, most of them, and a lot of that had to do with not keeping contained, whether him throwing the ball or running it. Yeah, Georgia needs DeAndre Walker, and that's an interesting proposition. I mean, we'll have to see on game time. I guess we really won't be sure that any of these guys that are considering the draft, whether they play or not, because if you're a little bit banged up, you know, that might be reason not to play. It's a little bit different than it used to be. These guys are being a little bit more selfish, and you can't really blame them for that.
No, not with so much at stake, and that's why there were questions about Baker when he didn't practice last Friday, and he had left. It appeared Thursday and had that post on the Instagram. I know he said he was going to play, but then he wasn't at a couple practices. And when we asked Georgia if they'd clarify it, they kind of left that alone, so maybe they weren't sure either. But again, there's some rumors that he's on this flight. I guess we're going to find out if DeAndre Baker. I'll tell you one thing, Chip. There's also a lot of talk, and I've been getting some information from a lot of these ticket agencies, that Texas could have double the fans that Georgia would at the Sugar Bowl. Now, I wasn't at the Rose Bowl last year, but I know that Georgia fans were traveling in force. Certainly they represented at the SEC title game. Texas, though, maybe a little more excited about being in this game than Georgia is.
Yeah, that's going to be a big sidebar to this whole deal. You know, actually at the Big 12 championship game, I was talking to some Sugar Bowl people here, and they were saying they were at the Big 12 championship game, and that was about 2/3 Texas to Oklahoma in the Big 12 championship game. So they're excited. They're excited to be here. They're excited to be in Sugar Bowl. The opposite of that is Georgia fans aren't exactly excited to be here. I think the team, I've said that before. I think the team's going to be plenty excited in this game. Here comes Georgia's plane actually touching down. That one's got Kirby and the players on it.
Flip that around for everybody to see here.
Hold on, Chip.
Yeah.
Yep, that's the Georgia plane right there. So now the players have arrived, Chip. That is the Georgia flight. Saw someone ask about D'Angelo Gibbs. Gibbs is currently off the team, according to Kirby Smart. Kirby has not elaborated any more on that. I followed up to ask if there was any chance of a reinstatement for D'Angelo Gibbs, and Kirby did not answer that question. So just so you know, Kirby Smart saying that D'Angelo Gibbs currently off the team and don't know the status moving forward. One interesting sidebar on that, Chip, is J.R. Reed is his cousin.
Yeah.
And I kind of wonder, if you're J.R. Reed, that's a close friend of yours. You look on J.R.'s social media accounts, him and D'Angelo are together a lot on those accounts. So we'll go ahead and jump back out here in front of the camera until we see the plane come around behind us here, Chip. If you want to step around there. We'll put Chip back on the... Again, we're just kind of waiting.
I'm going to put my hoodie back on, too.
Yeah, they like that.
You haters out there, man.
They like the hoodie.
You got to keep this hair. You got to keep this hair dry.
No doubt about it. So, question will be which Georgia players come off that team. I know that Jake Fromm and Jonathan Ledbetter, will also be doing press conferences in there.
Yeah.
And I guess from your perspective, Jake Fromm probably just glad to play in a different arena, right? Different stadium.
Yeah, I'm hoping to get a chance to ask him about that again. I asked him in Athens, but if you think about the poor Fromm family, their last 3 games in Mercedes-Benz Stadium didn't go the way they wanted to. Jake Fromm 0-2, and then his brothers, Dylan and the other kid, lost in the state championship game there with Warner Robins. So this is Mercedes-Benz as well, but it's Mercedes-Benz Superdome. But actually, I see a couple of you saying don't catch a cold. It's warm here.
70 degrees.
Yeah, it feels great. It's just the weather and a pretty strong front is coming across Texas and into Louisiana, and really going to affect us all week. We'll see how quick it blows out here. You never can tell. About to have the second line band, which proudly calls themselves third line band, is about to march back out here and welcome the second plane.
You can see that plane coming around there right there with the Georgia players on it. Taxi in here. You can see that plane pulling up. That'll have the players on it.
Yeah, we do that. Okay.
All right, we're gonna do what we can to get you some video. The second plane deboarding here. Be interesting to see who gets off that plane and doesn't. I don't have any reason to believe.
Good point, Chris Little pointed out. Yeah, that's right. He won the SEC championship game. My bad. I guess I'm thinking of the last 3 in there.
Right.
You're right. He did win the SEC.
They handed out these
played quite well.
They handed out these ponchos to us when we first came out here because we had a rainstorm. Now it's stopped raining for now, but I'm going to keep mine on just in case it starts up again to stay dry here and keep my equipment.
Kirby arrives and the rain stops.
Is that what it is?
I don't think that's a coincidence whatsoever.
Right? No doubt about it. I'm going to get this camera set up here.
All right.
Although, are we going to be able to go out on the tarmac?
Yeah, I think so. I think they're going right here.
All right, let's go on over here and check it out.
Coach and players are right in the front, so we're going to go straight in.
Now you see the Georgia players are here. The Georgia plane right there. is charter flights. Someone was asking why they're not at the regular terminal. It's a chartered flight. So it's a private arrival. We all had to get checked. To be here, we had to run our names through the airport security about a week in advance. So that's why they're not in the normal terminal. Looks like we're going to hustle out over there to
Behind the blue jacket, yeah, right.
hit it.
To make that game, and we've moved on past it. I mean, certainly, I think when you think about the playoffs and the 4 top teams in the country, you want to be part of that. Every one of our players will tell you that. But we also know the hurdle that's in front of us in Texas. A team that's got a great tradition, really good football team, plays in a really good conference. So we have a standard that we play to regardless of who we play, and we know we're playing a really good opponent, and our players are excited for that opportunity. This is one of the best bowls in the country.
Justin Fields is on the plane with you. Can you talk about his status? Also, just the trend in quarterbacks, for want of a better word, impatience about them wanting to start, and you see this as an increasing trend in college football.
Well, I don't think it's just impatience of quarterbacks not want to start. I think every kid on that plane wants to start if you ask them. So they all want that opportunity. The unfortunate thing about quarterback is only one of them can start. So it's not like where we have 6 defensive backs or 5 defensive backs or 4 defensive linemen. It's a very unique position. The only thing similar to it is the kicker, and he doesn't play very much anyway. So it's a unique situation. But Justin has practiced with us throughout the bowl. He's done a really good job of focusing on that and worrying about that.
So he's putting the game plan for just for him. He's the back, he's number 1 back.
Yeah, he's our number 2 quarterback going into the game. Absolutely.
Were any of your scholarship guys not able to make the trip with you?
No, we've got everybody here. Everybody that practices with us in bowl practice is with us.
Coach, you mentioned that you admire everything that Tom Herman's been able to do with that Texas program. You've been across the field from him once before. What do you see, just from him as a coach, and maybe kind of expand on that a little bit?
Well, he's a tremendous leader. First of all, he's a really good offensive coach, but he's gone out and got a really exceptional defensive staff. They've been able to put a really good defense together. I think what he did at Houston, itself speaks for itself, and then he goes to Texas and he's turned it around. So he certainly has one of the premier programs to do that at, as far as recruiting to, one of the best states to recruit in the country. But he's done that well. And when you're at a place like that, which I know we both share some common situations in that we're one of the major universities in our state, and our states are really good at supplying great football players. But you still have to go out and sign them, develop them, and become a good football team, which he's been able to do at Texas.
Kirby, we didn't get a chance to ask about who we didn't see DeAndre Baker last practice. Where was he, and has he reconsidered at all playing in this game?
Yeah, DeAndre Baker is not going to play in this game. He has decided not to play in the game. That was a decision that he came to, I don't know what day it was last week, somewhere around midweek. But he was very honest about it. He was very concerned about it. And we at the University of Georgia support him in his decision. That's a decision that, it's a tough decision when you look at it, and he was forced to make it. He probably spoke prematurely when he was at the Thorpe Award. I think it was on his mind, but he met with his family about it. It was really important to him that he stay with the team. We support him as a coaching staff to stay around the team, be around the team. He wanted to come on this trip to help those other players, help the other corners. So it was a decision that he had to make. And look, across the country, there are a lot of guys making that decision, and it really weighed heavy on that kid. And he came to us and told us, and I told him we would support him. And he's here with us. He's part of our family. He came back, after having a pretty good grade as a junior, decided to play, and helped get us to this point. But he's not going to play the game.
Time for 2 more.
Coach Jordan Davis, is he? We didn't see Jordan Davis out there last week. Is he going to?
Jordan was inside rehabbing, doing some things. He's had a back problem, a little bit of a back issue, but he practiced some today. He continued to practice. I think he's going to be fine for the game.
Coach, how much has Tyson Campbell grown down the stretch in practice? Obviously, we haven't seen him on the field as much.
He's got a lot of reps, so he's got a lot of opportunities, and we know we're up against some really good wideouts. They've got really big physical wideouts across the board. They do an exceptional job throwing the ball down the field, so we know those guys will be tested, and all the secondary will. So we're trying to prepare them as much as we can. We're excited to be here, guys. We've got a great football program. We're an up-and-coming program when it comes to setting a standard. We want our kids to play to our standard, and that's our #1 goal, is to play our best game in this game.
Coach Hampton, your wide receiver coach, what has he done for this group, helping you guys get to where you are right now last year after joining the Dragons?
I think he brings a wealth of experience at the position. He commands a lot of respect in that room. He's brought a lot of good ideas to our offense. I think he's really taken a wide receiver group that was really talented, and he's made them more productive. You know, that with our quarterback play has been good. Offensive coordinator's done a good job, but Coach Hankton has brought a kind of a by committee job to the receivers corps where it's not just one guy, but he's done a great job of doing that. I know he's from New Orleans, and I know he's excited to be coming home.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, guys.
Jonathan Ledbetter over to this backdrop here. Jake Fromm is already setting up right in the other one. Hold out.
Jonathan, answer everything twice.
That'd be awesome.
Would that be great?
That'd be awesome.
Well, Jake, I know you guys have been asked ever since this game was announced, how motivated the team was. As y'all going through practice, I mean, what do you see from that standpoint? How ready y'all to play Texas?
Yeah, we're ready. Guys have gone to work. You know, obviously it's not where we want to be, but man, we're excited to be here. I mean, it's the Sugar Bowl. It's not like, you know, we're somewhere else. We're here. We're thankful to be here. Guys are excited, especially, you know, when we land. You know, we're here. You know, and guys are getting pumped, getting dialed in, ready for this football game.
Jake, when you saw the rain and you got off the plane, damn, there goes Bourbon Street tonight, or?
You know, I'm not too worried about that. You know, other guys probably not too worried about that. We're focused on the game, ready to win a football game, and just play the best we can.
What challenges does Texas bring to their defense?
Yeah, you know, that they fly around. They make plays on defense. You know, they do a lot of slanting, you know, a little bit all over the place. So they're going to, you know, rally around the football, play their hearts out, and give us a fight.
Jake, I don't know how much you've been able to watch Sam's game, but just you know, facing him in the Sugar Bowl, and just what do you respect about his game?
Yeah, so you know, we kind of go in and watch film. You know, you really don't end up watching too much of the you know, the opposing offense. But today on the bus ride to Atlanta, they had the Oklahoma-Texas game up on. So you know, kind of get to watch a little bit of Sam and how they play on offense, and you know, that man, they play really well on offense. So excited to see what he's going to do in the game, and just kind of hope he doesn't score too many points.
How much did y'all watch of both Texas-Oklahoma games y'all prepare for this contest?
A lot. You know, it was kind of an ongoing joke in the quarterback room. You can kind of go ahead and tell what's going to happen before it ever starts, just because you've watched it so many times. But you know, really, a lot of the games too as well. So you know, just kind of put in that work and try to be the best player we can be.
How would you characterize the practices back there in Athens leading up to this trip, Jake?
You know, a lot of work. You know, guys just constantly putting work in. A lot of younger guys getting a lot of reps and just trying to, you know, make their statement. You know, get on the field and just play the best they can. So you know, everybody is playing for their own reasons right now. Collectively, the team, we're playing for each other, trying to send these seniors out right and just play the best we can.
What should the legacy of this year's team be? I mean, obviously, like you said, you didn't make the playoff, but there were some big wins. What are your thoughts as far as what this game means and what this legacy should be?
It means a lot. You know, we're going to come out, fight, and, you know, hopefully win a big football game. And, you know, maybe it might show that we possibly could have been in the Final Four.
Are y'all sick of hearing, you know, can you get over losing to Alabama?
Yeah, you know, that's past us. You know, we kind of confronted that that night and the following day. So, guys have put it behind us. I've put it behind me. We're here now. You can't change anything that's happened in the past. So, we're here. You know, we're excited and ready to play.
Have you found that to be easier said than done?
Yes, it is. You know, you put it behind you. You know, what does that mean? You just kind of have to. You go to work. That's the only way I really know to kind of get over anything, come off a bad game or anything. Man, just go to work, and that's just proved very helpful for me in the past.
What about Coach Smart? You know, who he is as a person, as a coach. Do you feel like those last couple of years has helped get Georgia to where you guys are right now?
Yeah, he does a phenomenal job. Obviously recruiting, you know, and then the on the football, you know, that a lot of people don't see. Just constantly getting after it. You know, challenging us to be better, to be a better team, be better individually. And I think he does a great job of challenging us just to come out and be a better football program.
Jake, how have you kept the leadership going? Obviously, there's been a lot of talk about Justin. Everyone knows now he's exploring a transfer. Has that changed any dynamics, and how have you kind of maintained your leadership role throughout all
That hasn't changed anything for me. He's going to do what's best for him, but as far as me and this football team, it doesn't change anything for me. I'm going to come out and lead and play the best I can for this football team.
Jake, what do you make of all the traffic between schools of quarterbacks nowadays? If you're not starting, maybe you're looking for a place somewhere else, not you personally, but guys that maybe you competed against at the 11, that kind of thing. Do you understand kind of the nature of people getting hungry to play?
Yeah, I think it is what it is. Guys want to play, and Coach Marr said it earlier. Only one guy can play, and it's tough. It's not like receiver where 3 or 4 or 5, a bunch of guys are rolling in. It's tough, so I can understand not want to, and at the end of the day, it's just tough, and it is what it is.
You think that maybe because guys come in feeling like they're so prepared because you've had so much 7-7 and everything else, and so you're prepared to play, you're anxious to play, so the idea of, well, I'll redshirt a year or 2 or something like that just doesn't sit well when you've played at that high level for so long.
Right. You just want to come out and show your skill set, but it just kind of is what it is.
You feel bad about losing teammates, sort of thing.
Yeah.
Other than the game, what are you looking forward to most this week?
Kind of sitting around. Honestly, probably just eating really good food. I'm excited. I love to eat, and just can't wait for really good food.
What kind of food are you looking to eat?
Gumbo, some boudin, just any other kind of special Louisiana flavor I can get. So I'm excited.
Thanks a lot, Jake.
Thank you.